Imagine spending $17,000 to give your family the perfect Christmas vacation, only to wake up alone, abandoned, and replaced. That's exactly what happened to me. They took the money, left a note, and vanished. But what they didn't know is, I was about to flip the entire script. You won't believe how this story ends. Hi everyone, I'm David, the storyteller on the Family Tales channel. Here, I'll share stories about love, conflicts, betrayal, and infidelity within American families. These stories offer a deep look into relationships and the challenges families face. Stay tuned and explore with me. If you love emotional stories and want to uncover the hidden secrets in families, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our videos. On Christmas Day, my daughter chose to leave me behind, eloping with her husband and his parents on a trip for which I had spent $17,000. I anticipated the embrace of family warmth, only to discover an empty house and a chilling note that betrayed my expectations. It appears they orchestrated the entire situation, holding a conversation in my absence, where they mocked my ATM. As a result, I decided to cancel everything. They reached out to me 76 times, completely unaware that this was merely the start of something much bigger. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your location in the comments below. I anticipated the enticing aroma of bacon, but was met with an unexpected stillness. A solitary piece of paper lay on the kitchen table, neatly folded once, occupying the precise spot where my coffee mug typically rested. My name appeared in Nicole's meticulous handwriting. The morning stillness remained unbroken, devoid of laughter from the living room, the rustle of wrapping paper, or the excited chatter about our upcoming vacation to Aspen. With trembling hands, I carefully unfolded the note. "Hey Dad, we've made plans to head to Colorado without you this time. This is a precious opportunity for our family to bond, just the 5 of us. Mark your calendars. We'll return on January 2nd. No need to stress about the cost. We're confident it's within your reach. Thank you for all that you've done. With all my heart, Nicole." The paper slipped through my fingers, and just like that, they were lost. On Christmas morning, having invested $17,000 into crafting the ultimate family getaway, following months filled with enthusiastic planning sessions, where Nicole embraced me and dubbed me the best dad ever, I found myself wandering through the house, calling out their names, regardless. Nicole, Zachary, Howard, Kinsley. The sound of my voice reverberated through the vacant space. Their bedroom doors swung wide, exposing beds that had been quickly thrown together. Nicole's closet revealed an empty space where her large suitcase typically resided. The bathroom counter was devoid of Zachary's shaving kit. In the kitchen, I seized my phone with trembling fingers. Nicole's call went directly to voicemail. Her upbeat, recorded voice now seemed like a taunt. "Hey Nicole, it's your dad. I came across your note. I'm confused about the situation. I would appreciate a call back at your earliest convenience." Zachary's phone chimed once before transitioning to voicemail, followed by Howard's, and then Kinsley's. With every unanswered ring, the truth pierced deeper into my heart. This was a well-considered decision. Their plans had been meticulously crafted, a collective effort from the entire group. I settled into my leather recliner, enveloped by the wrapped gifts I had purchased for those who had left me behind. The twinkling Christmas tree lights cast a warm glow, highlighting the gift tags adorned with my meticulous handwriting. For Nicole, with all my love, Dad. Wishing you a year filled with all your desires, Zachary. 3 months prior, I revealed the vacation plans at Sunday dinner. Since her divorce, Nicole had faced numerous challenges, while Zachary's parents had yet to experience a genuine getaway. I aimed to provide them with something truly exceptional. Aspen for New Year's, I declared, as I unveiled the resort brochures. A week of luxury, with every expense covered. Hit the slopes, indulge in rejuvenating spa treatments, and experience it all. Nicole wrapped her arms around me. Dad, you're amazing. This is precisely what everyone has been looking for. Zachary offered a strong handshake. Larry, this is incredibly important to us. Absolutely. Howard and Kinsley were moved to tears. We never imagined we'd encounter a place like this, Howard had murmured. I felt an overwhelming sense of pride and purpose. At last, I was able to craft unforgettable family memories that would stand the test of time. Now I perceived their tears in a new light. It was clear they had intentions to leave me out, even back then, assessing the value of my generosity against their capacity to endure my company. I grabbed our family photo from last Christmas. 5 cheerful expressions. Nicole's arm rested comfortably around my shoulders. Zachary is giving me a thumbs up. Howard and Kinsley radiated a warmth that felt authentic. Or at least that's what I believed. Did they talk about it after I went to sleep? Did they keep track of the days until they could pocket my money and abandon me? The Mercedes keys rested on the kitchen counter, exactly where Nicole had placed them. The ultimate affront. They opted for an Uber to the airport instead of using my car, ensuring I understood that this was not related to transportation. It was a decision to leave me out. A text from my neighbor made my phone buzz. Wishing you a joyful Christmas, Larry. Wishing you a fantastic morning filled with joy alongside your loved ones. I fixed my gaze on the message until the screen faded to black. The decision had been made. They assumed I was merely a solitary old man, wealthy yet spineless. A person who silently endures their betrayal, while effortlessly supporting their lives without facing any repercussions. They were mistaken. I strolled into my office and pulled open the desk drawer that housed all our vacation documents, reservation codes, accommodation details, transaction confirmations, all the essentials for their ideal escape. I maintained control over everything. My finger lingered above the resort's phone number. As I made my way to my home office, it felt as though I was traversing a bridge from which there was no turning back. The meticulously arranged filing cabinet remained precisely in the spot I had designated for it. 30 years of precise documentation. All receipts meticulously organized. All contracts organized in alphabetical order. I retrieved the substantial folder marked Aspen Vacation 2024. The number for Little Nell was marked in bright yellow. I reached out to them countless times throughout the planning process, addressing room upgrades and special requests. Now I called with a new purpose. Greetings from Little Nell Resort. This is Rebecca on the line. How can I help you today? Introducing Larry Hughes. Last night my family arrived and checked in under the Hughes reservation. I'm looking to implement some urgent adjustments. Absolutely, Mr. Hughes. Your family has arrived safely. They appeared genuinely thrilled about their visit. What modifications are you considering? I flipped open my planning binder to reveal the meticulously crafted itinerary. I had dedicated weeks to perfecting my creation. Please cancel the spa appointments that are set for December 27th. Every single one of them. Sir, those are exclusive reservations made for the peak season. Be prepared for substantial cancellation fees. Terminate them. The sound of the keyboard clicking came to a halt. Absolutely, sir. Is there anything more you need? Exclusive chef service for your New Year's Eve celebration. Go ahead and cancel it. I crossed out the $20,400 expense with my red pen. Mr. Hughes, that service is incredibly well liked. Would you prefer to reschedule instead? Please cancel all ski lessons. Please cancel the wine tasting tour. Please cancel the private shopping appointment. Every cancellation struck me as if I were erasing their names from my will, intentional and irrevocable. Rebecca's professional demeanor faltered just a bit. This outlines the majority of your scheduled activities. Is everything okay? Everything is just right. Additionally, please cancel my credit card authorization for any further charges. They are now responsible for covering their own additional expenses. I ended the call before she had a chance to reply, and swiftly pulled open the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet. Within the folders lay 7 years' worth of receipts. Throughout the years, I meticulously tracked every dollar spent in support of Nicole and Zachary, categorized by year. The university folder revealed a total of $180,000 in tuition payments over the span of 4 years. Nicole held a psychology degree that had remained untapped. I recall her graduation day vividly, tears flowing down her cheeks as she embraced me, vowing to make me proud. Wedding costs reached $65,000 for what Nicole described as her dream day. The location, the blooms, the lens expert. With each check I wrote, I felt a surge of joy as I witnessed my daughter's dreams unfolding beautifully. Secure your future with an apartment down payment of $85,000. I arranged it as a formal loan rather than a gift. Wise business strategy, even when it involves family. The paperwork lingered in its manila folder, Zachary's signature strikingly bold across the promissory note. My phone started ringing even before I had completed my review of the files. Is that Larry? Wishing you a joyful Christmas, my friend. Michael Richardson's voice exuded a laid-back vacation vibe. The attorney I've relied on for 23 years, the expert who managed my business sale and crafted my retirement strategy. Michael, I require legal counsel today. His pause revealed that he had picked up on the subtle shift in my tone. Larry, is everything okay? Your voice has a unique quality. On Christmas morning, my family jetted off to Aspen without me, despite my $17,000 contribution to their vacation. The words emerged devoid of emotion, sounding purely transactional. I would like to explore my legal options concerning the funds I have lent them throughout the years. Hold on. What's going on? Did Nicole and Zachary really leave you on Christmas? Are you for real? Utterly sincere. They took my money and left me behind. I'm eager to find out what I can legally reclaim. Michael's silence lingered, making me question whether the call had disconnected. At last, Larry, the documentation for the apartment loan we've put together is robust. This loan is callable with a 30-day notice period. You can cancel the credit cards you pay for right away. Are you absolutely certain you want to proceed? Proceed with canceling the cards. Get the loan ready and send out the recall notice. Please ensure that everything is prepared by tomorrow morning. Hey Larry, it's that wonderful time of year. Christmas. It might be beneficial to consider mediation or family counseling. They have made their decision, Michael. Now I'm creating my own. Once the call ended, I made my way to the fireproof safe and retrieved the documents I had wished to keep untouched. Each loan agreement, every co-signed lease, and all the financial guarantees I offered, rooted in love and trust. Unbeknownst to them, the line between generosity and betrayal blurred, leaving them unaware of the legal ramifications that followed. My phone began to vibrate, signaling an incoming call. Nicole's name illuminated the screen. I allowed it to ring 3 times before picking up, my voice unwavering and firm. Greetings, Nicole. Father? Her voice trembled with fear. What actions did you take? It appears that all our reservations have been cancelled. The spa, the dining options, every detail. I have cancelled them. The silence loomed between us, vast and unbridgeable. In that case, that's not an option for you. We've arrived. This entire trip was meticulously planned around those bookings. I organized this trip myself. You made the choice to leave me out of it. Dad, I really need to explain something to you. Could you clarify what you mean? What was your strategy for ensuring I was alone on Christmas morning? How did you take my $17,000 and leave me behind? I tapped my fingers rhythmically on the desk. No explanation needed, Nicole. Her breathing quickened, filled with urgency. Let's discuss this when we return. Let's find a solution together. Is it possible for us to do that? So, we discussed you leaving, right? Dad, this doesn't seem fair. I'm taking a pragmatic approach. Michael Richardson is in the process of preparing the legal documents to initiate the call on your apartment loan, providing a 30-day notice as outlined in the agreement you and Zachary signed. The phone fell into silence, punctuated only by her sharp intake of breath. You simply wouldn't. I've already done that. Your credit cards will be deactivated by noon today. All bank guarantees that I have signed are now being revoked. I unlocked my safe and retrieved the hefty bundle of documents. Did you honestly believe I had no documentation of my kindness? Dad, please stop, kindly. At that moment, tears streamed down her face. We acknowledge that we made an error, all right? We ought to have consulted you beforehand. A decision has been made. Now you face the outcomes of your choices. What's the scoop on Howard and Kinsley? They have always been there for you, never causing you any harm. They are simply innocent. They took part. They had the chance to reach out, to give me a heads up, to say no. They opted to take sides instead. I perused the loan documents, every page sharp with legal precision. Each person has made their decision. This is absolutely unbelievable. One mistake shouldn't dictate our lives. Just one error. The words escaped my lips with an unintended chill. Nicole, this was a spontaneous decision. This was all part of your plan. The conversation took place. You took charge of it. You arranged transportation without informing me. This was a calculated act of betrayal. Suddenly, Zachary's voice cut into the call. Larry, this situation is spiraling out of control. Let's engage in a mature conversation. Family is everything, especially on Christmas morning, Zachary. We don't walk away from each other during this special time. We figured you could use a little time to yourself. You're constantly talking about how packed your social schedule is. Refrain. My voice pierced through his efforts at manipulation. Do not attempt to spin this as a favor to me. You took my money and abandoned me, clearly not wanting me around. I have the proof, Zachary. Each payment I've contributed to your existence. The apartment expenses, the payments, the credit card balances, the car loan I co-signed, the wedding costs, and the medical bills for your parents that I covered last year. Every item struck with the force of a hammer blow. Did you talk about those when you decided to leave me out? Howard's voice trembled as it came through the phone. Larry, my dear, please. Our intention was never to cause you any pain. We assumed the kids had it all figured out. Howard, I am not your son. My daughter and my money were taken by your son, leaving me alone on Christmas. Kinsley's cries echoed softly in the background. This is precisely what we were hoping to prevent, Nicole said, her voice trembling with emotion. The guilt trips you take me on. Your desire to manage every aspect through financial means. A chill took residence in my chest. Mastery. I provided you with independence, education, a place to call home, and the freedom to choose your career. Every action I took was aimed at liberating you, not constraining you. Yet there always seemed to be conditions, didn't there? Conditions are always present. The sole requirement was fundamental human decency. It seems that was an unreasonable expectation. The hotel room fell quiet, except for muffled sobs. "What do you want?" Zachary inquired at last. "Funds? A heartfelt apology? What steps are necessary to resolve this issue? Can you help me with this issue?" I glanced at the family photos on my desk, recognizing only unfamiliar faces now. "Zachary, betrayal is something that can't be mended. Embrace it as part of your journey. Is that all there is? Are you really willing to ruin everything, just because your feelings were hurt?" I gripped the phone tightly. My feelings remained intact. My trust has been broken. There's a distinction. Amidst the tears and disputes, another sound reached my ears. A gentle knock echoed through the hotel room door. Once the call ended, I craved silence. The house felt different now, vast and desolate, resembling a gallery of broken faith. I picked up a sandwich around noon, yet hardly savored it. As I strolled through the rooms I had adorned for a Christmas morning that never arrived, I couldn't shake the feeling of being a detective, unraveling the mysteries of my own existence. Nicole's bedroom door lingered ajar, just as she had left it on Christmas Eve. I opened it wider and entered. The walls were adorned with childhood photos that beamed with joy. Moments of gymnastics triumph, shining trophies, the pride of high school graduation, and family vacations filled with authentic joy. Did I really envision all of this? The charging station perched on her nightstand immediately drew my attention. Amidst the frenzy of their airport dash, Nicole's phone lay abandoned, a silent witness to their hurried departure. During our call, she was sending frantic texts from Howard's phone. I grasped the device, my thumb poised just above the screen. This seemed like a boundary being breached, yet they had already surpassed every significant limit. The phone sprang to life with her birthday, a password I had assisted her in selecting long ago for safety. The messaging app displayed a flurry of unread notifications. As I clicked on the group chat titled "Girls' Weekend Planning," a wave of regret washed over me instantly. Just a fortnight ago, Nicole, "Dad is determined to join us on our trip to Aspen. Jessica, that sounds challenging. Why not just say no to him? Nicole, you haven't met my dad. He covered all the expenses, so he believes he deserves a say in the matter. Sarah, perhaps he would enjoy it after all. Nicole, believe me, that's not the way to go. Zachary believes the elderly gentleman will inevitably grumble about the prices being exorbitant or the noise levels being unbearable." My hands began to tremble. "Jessica, what can you tell me about his parents? They appeared charming when I first encountered them. Nicole, Howard, and Kinsley are genuinely awesome. They would feel much more at ease without Dad constantly hovering with his opinions. Sarah and you all could really celebrate together. Absolutely, Nicole. This should be our getaway, not a family gathering with my personal cash machine." I plopped down onto her bed, the phone quaking in my hand. "A week ago, Nicole, we've successfully resolved the situation with Dad. Jessica, share the details. Nicole, we'll be heading out on Christmas morning just before he wakes up. Kindly jot down a note. Sarah, that's pretty harsh. Nicole, he will move past it." Additionally, Howard expressed that they felt guilty about taking so much money from him in the first place. "Jessica, hold on. Are his in-laws involved in this too?" Nicole, they required some persuasion, but Zachary articulated how Dad centers everything around himself. The text became a haze as I continued to scroll through an endless stream of messages. Every single one stung like a paper cut, minor yet building up to an unbearable weight. Nicole, there are moments when it feels like Dad doesn't realize we've grown up. At least he covers all the expenses, Sarah. Nicole, the undeniable advantage of having a wealthy, overprotective father. Jessica, it must be wonderful to have a father who can indulge you. Nicole, it does come with strings attached, however. He anticipates appreciation and quality moments with family in exchange. Sarah, the weight of emotional labor. The conversation from 2 weeks ago is still fresh in my mind. Zachary's suggestion was anything but casual. Larry, don't you think it could be refreshing if only the younger generation went this time? He suggested during Sunday dinner. Nicole leapt in without hesitation. Dad, you might find it more relaxing to stay at home. You often express your fondness for enjoying peaceful moments with a good book. I chuckled, believing it was all in good fun. Yet I had been eagerly anticipating this family time for months. The silence that lingered in the air suddenly felt understandable. The decision had already been made. Howard and Kinsley averted their gaze, fully aware of the truth. I was the only one left in the dark. Just 3 days ago. Nicole, let's do a final check. Are all tickets confirmed for everyone? Jessica, you're truly going for it, Nicole. This is the optimal choice. Believe in me. Dad might sulk for a week, but he'll eventually move on. Sarah, what if he doesn't come through? Nicole, what's his next move? Sever ties with me. He's made those threats before, yet never actually follows through. Jessica, could it be that he has feelings for you? Nicole, perhaps it's because he relies on us more than we rely on him. I shut the messaging app and gazed at the dark screen, my reflection revealing a face that seemed older than I recalled. Not only had they left me out, but they had also ridiculed me. My kindness went unnoticed. It was anticipated. My longing for familial bonds went unappreciated. It was accepted. A new message from the group chat lit up the phone with a buzz. Nicole, Dad went into full-on emergency mode. Everything has been cancelled, and there's a threat to call in the apartment loan. Jessica, hold on. What's going on? Nicole, he means it this time. It seems we may have made a significant mistake. I placed the phone gently on the charging station and made my way to my office. The sound of my footsteps reverberates through the stillness of the house. They believed they understood me. They believed I was easy to read, controllable. A person who issued hollow threats and attempted to purchase absolution with cash. They were on the brink of discovering just how mistaken they truly were. My office has always been my haven. A mahogany desk, neatly arranged filing cabinets, and everything perfectly in order. It now resembled a strategic command center. I took out my laptop and launched a fresh spreadsheet. Decades of experience in the construction industry are kicking in, guiding my every move. Headers for the column include date, category, amount, documentation status, and legal structure. I began with Nicole's education. One by one, I meticulously logged each tuition payment, every dormitory fee, and all the textbook purchases I had made. $45,000 annually for a duration of 4 years. The calculator on the laptop displayed a total of $180,000. Next up were the wedding expenses. The venue that Nicole simply couldn't resist. The gown that surpasses the price of an average vehicle. A romantic getaway to Bora Bora. This is a one-time opportunity, Dad. An additional $65,000. The down payment for the apartment gave me a moment of reflection. I had been clever in structuring it as a formal loan, thanks to Michael's assistance. $85,000 secured by a promissory note, duly signed by both Nicole and Zachary. Competitive interest rate, yet fully enforceable by law. Acquiring a vehicle. Nicole's BMW is available for $45,000. Zachary's truck is priced at $35,000. I co-signed both loans when their credit fell short. Over the last 3 years, the average monthly support has been $2,500. Support for rent, help with grocery expenses, coverage for insurance payments, and resources for emergency funds. Yet another $90,000. The final total took me by surprise, leaving me momentarily stunned in my chair. $515,000. $500,000 of proven generosity, met with a cold and calculated betrayal. I picked up my phone and called Michael. "Larry, how are you doing these days? I'm requesting an urgent meeting, preferably this evening. Today is Christmas Day. Michael, I've just tallied up more than $500,000 in family support over the last 10 years. I require a clear understanding of the specific legal options that arise from this situation." Then, silence. "Let's connect at my office at 5:30. I'll reach out to David Cruz. It's essential to have the tax implications thoroughly reviewed as well." Experiencing the drive downtown was nothing short of surreal. As Christmas lights shimmered on the deserted streets, I made my way to a meeting that promised to transform everything. Michael's building loomed in the shadows, its 20th floor office windows glowing like beacons in the night. He greeted me at the elevator, his typically flawless suit swapped out for casual jeans and a cozy sweater. "Larry, after 23 years of representing you, I've never witnessed you in this light. In 23 years, I have never experienced a systematic betrayal from those I hold dear." David connected with us via video call from his home office, where a Christmas tree adorned with scattered wrapping paper set the scene. "Larry, I got the scoop from Michael. This is a conversation about substantial asset recovery. I laid out my documentation on Michael's conference table, informed me of my legal options. Michael took the lead by reviewing the apartment loan paperwork initially. This is impressive. The structure is impeccable. Available with a 30-day written notice featuring a below-market interest rate that is clearly documented as family assistance. Fully binding. The credit cards. You hold the primary account. They hold authorized user status. Feel free to eliminate them right away. All debt accrued on your cards is payable upon request." David leaned in closer to the screen. "From a tax standpoint, you've categorized monthly support as gifts within the annual exclusion limit. Intelligent, yet the significant factors, education, wedding, apartment, can lead to genuine debt instruments if trust is compromised by the recipients. What's the deal with car loans? You are the guarantor for both agreements. In the event of missed payments, you have the right to request immediate repayment or initiate repossession through the lender." A chilling sense of satisfaction began to take root in my chest. They lack any legal safeguards. Michael made a subtle adjustment to his glasses. "Larry, they lack any assets, have no independent income, and have rendered themselves entirely reliant on your generosity. Legally, you possess all the advantages. What about the emotional deception angle? It may be challenging to establish, yet you possess documented proof of intentional deceit alongside the acceptance of financial gains. A court is likely to see that in a negative light." David also mentioned the constructive trust doctrine. Funds provided under misleading circumstances can be reclaimed, even if they were initially presented as gifts. What is the timeline for implementation? Michael retrieved his legal calendar. "You can cancel your credit cards tonight. The apartment loan notice may be ready by tomorrow. They will have a full 30 days from the moment they receive it. Missing just one payment on a vehicle loan can lead to serious consequences, including the potential for the loan to be called in. If they push back, we will proceed with claims for breach of trust, unjust enrichment, and fraudulent acceptance of benefits. Your documentation makes this a straightforward case. I collected the documents, each sheet symbolizing not merely currency, but a tapestry of love generously offered and meticulously broken. Prepare a comprehensive draft encompassing every detail. Larry, as soon as we kick off this process. They initiated this when they schemed to leave me behind while pocketing my cash. I'm wrapping it up. Michael gave a slow nod and flipped open his laptop. Preliminary documents will be ready for you by tomorrow morning. Outside, the Christmas lights continued to twinkle, yet they appeared transformed, resembling evidence markers at a crime scene. I took out my phone and launched my banking app to kick off the initial phase. After 4 days of meticulous preparation, my home had evolved into a stronghold of organized documentation. Legal documents meticulously arranged in tidy stacks, financial records expertly cross-referenced, and Michael's preliminary agreements thoroughly reviewed and prepared. As Zachary's truck rolled into my driveway at 6:30 on December 29th, I observed from the living room window. They appeared just as I had anticipated. Clothes wrinkled, Nicole's eyes rimmed with red from tears, while Howard and Kinsley followed behind, resembling unwilling actors in a play not of their choosing. After 4 days in a roadside motel, their vacation confidence had been completely depleted. I swung the door open just as their knuckles were about to make contact. Larry. Zachary's voice exuded a strained dominance, reminiscent of someone attempting to assert control while sinking deeper into quicksand. Step right in. I withdrew, lacking the familiar warmth and the embrace I would have readily given in the past. Cozy gathering space. Nicole hurried toward me, tears streaming down her face. I'm truly sorry, Dad. We never intended for things to become this intricate. Please take a seat, Nicole. She stiffened at the sound of my voice. Even Zachary seemed taken aback by the chill in my tone. Howard nervously cleared his throat. Larry, my boy, perhaps it's time for us to pause and take a deep breath. Family misunderstandings are a common occurrence. This was not a case of misunderstanding. I stood firm as they awkwardly arranged themselves on my furniture. This was a deliberate choice to leave me out while still accepting my financial contributions. Kinsley gently blotted her eyes with a tissue. We believe you would appreciate a little tranquility in the comfort of your own space. It was meant to be considerate. It would have been considerate to inquire. You orchestrated my exclusion while making sure I footed the bill for your getaway. Nicole's tears flowed more fiercely. Dad, please. That's not how it happened. We figured you'd enjoy having the house all to yourself for a change. Halt. The words sliced through her manipulation with precision. I've dedicated 4 days to thoroughly examining the financial impact this family relationship has had on me. The figures shine a light on the truth. Zachary leaned in with intensity. What does that mean exactly? I approached my desk and grabbed the folder that Michael had meticulously prepared. I have meticulously examined every financial transaction between us from the last 10 years. Documented support totaling $515,000. All fell quiet in the room, save for Kinsley's sudden, sharp intake of breath. Nicole, your education, your special day. Your apartment down payment was legally structured as a loan, not a gift, a detail you appear to have overlooked. Nicole's complexion drained of color. Could you clarify what you mean by loan? You and Zachary entered into promissory notes totaling $85,000, secured at below-market interest rates. Michael Richardson meticulously organized it to safeguard the interests of both parties. I opened the folder to reveal the documents inside. The loan can be called with a 30-day written notice. You simply wouldn't. I've already done that. A notice was dispatched yesterday via certified mail. Zachary sprang to his feet. This is absolutely unbelievable. Our lives shouldn't be shattered over mere hurt feelings. I'm not causing any destruction. I'm reaching out to collect on valid debts. I turned the page to the next section. Your credit cards have been cancelled as of January 1st. The car loan guarantees I issued are currently under review for potential revocation. Dad, please put an end to this. Nicole's voice trembled, revealing her genuine fear. We stand to lose it all. It would have been wise to think about that prior to arranging my exclusion. Howard rose unsteadily. Larry, I'm confident we can find a solution together. Families should approach disagreements with care and understanding, rather than treating them as mere business transactions. Absolutely, Howard. Families ought to approach disagreements with transparency and mutual respect. When you approach family relationships as if they were mere business transactions, accepting money without offering anything in return, I will mirror that approach. Thoughtfulness. Zachary's cheeks turned a deep shade of crimson. We are your family. That ought to suffice. Family members don't plot to leave one another behind on Christmas morning. Kinsley was now weeping openly. Our intentions were never to cause you pain. We simply considered. You believed I was just a convenient source of funding, devoid of any emotions to take into account. The folder was closed. You were mistaken. Nicole sank back into the sofas, a wave of realization washing over her as she grasped the full extent of her situation. What's our time frame? 30 days following the receipt of the notice regarding the apartment. The credit cards have been cancelled. Your car payments are entirely your responsibility from the moment you take ownership. Without your support, we simply can't manage any of this, she whispered. Perhaps that consideration should have crossed your mind before deeming my presence unwelcome. Zachary strode purposefully toward the window. His hands tightened into fists. This is extortion. This is the world of commerce. It's important to recognize, especially considering your tendency to view family relationships through a financial lens. Nicole gazed at me, her eyes filled with desperation, a stark contrast to the manipulation that once lingered. What is it that you desire? A heartfelt apology, begging for forgiveness. What steps are necessary to resolve this issue? I locked eyes with her, unwavering. Betrayal can't be mended with mere apologies, Nicole. Embrace the outcomes of your choices. Is that all there is? Zachary turned to confront me. Our financial stability is at risk because we chose to take a vacation without you. I will respond to you in the same manner you have shown me, as if our feelings and needs are insignificant. All was quiet in the room, save for the rhythmic ticking of my grandfather clock. At last, Zachary squared his shoulders and met my gaze head-on. We require some time to work through this matter. The time frame outlined in the legal documents is precise. No extensions allowed. As they moved toward the door, a sense of defeat and desperation hung in the air. And I realized they wouldn't take this lying down. That night, I experienced the best sleep I had enjoyed in weeks. The morning unfolded with the gratifying sense of methodical execution. My desk was meticulously organized with contact lists, legal timelines, and action items, all arranged by priority for maximum efficiency. Precisely at 8 o'clock, I completed my inaugural call. Hey, Michael, it's Larry here. It's time to initiate the lawsuit for the apartment loan collection. Are you absolutely sure about this? After we file, there's no turning back without appearing vulnerable. Submit it. $85,000, along with accrued interest and legal fees. Complete collection initiative. I'll ensure it's submitted within the hour. What's the deal with the credit cards? Next up, it's time to reach out to the bank. First National picked up on the second ring. Mr. Hughes, what can we assist you with today? Please remove Nicole Hughes as an authorized user on all my accounts, effective immediately. Absolutely, sir. Could you please share the reason for the removal? Strategic choice, familial financial reorganization. Your cards will be cancelled within 24 hours. All outstanding charges will continue to be reflected on your primary account. Got it. Chase. Auto finance experienced delays in connecting to the appropriate department. Mr. Hughes, you're reaching out regarding the removal of the guarantee on the Zachary Thompson vehicle loan. Absolutely right. Please remove my financial guarantee from his loan agreement. That will necessitate him to qualify on his own or secure an alternative guarantor. If he is unable to meet the requirements, the loan will be called in immediately. That falls under his responsibility now. By 10 o'clock, all legal actions were set in motion. The sense of satisfaction was refreshing, professional and focused. Only outcomes remain for the recorded act of treachery. The doorbell chimed at 10:30. Nicole appeared on my porch, clutching a manila envelope, tears cascading down her cheeks. Dad, my credit card didn't go through at the grocery store. The bank informed me that my authorization has been cancelled. You have been removed as an authorized user. The cards belong to me, not to you. She brushed by me and entered the living room, tearing open the envelope and letting family photos spill across my coffee table. Take a moment to check these out. Do you recall the day you showed me how to ride a bike? My graduation? My wedding day, when you accompanied me down the aisle? I recall covering the costs for all those events. What makes you so distant? I am your daughter. Daughters would never plot to leave their fathers alone on Christmas morning. Zachary stood in my doorway, his phone glued to his ear. I see what you mean. The guarantee has been removed. He ended the call and fixed me with a glare that barely concealed his rage. The bank is insisting on full payment of my car loan, or they will take back the vehicle. I'm unable to secure refinancing without your assurance. You shouldn't have taken the chance by breaking my trust. Howard and Kinsley followed closely behind their son, their discomfort palpable. Larry, I'm confident we can find a solution, Howard suggested. These are simply family disagreements. We've all uttered words. This goes beyond the words we've exchanged. This focuses on your accomplishments and experiences. Deliberate financial deceit while taking advantage of my kindness. Nicole's tears became a cry for help. What are you seeking from us? Begging for forgiveness, experiencing public humiliation. Share with me the solution to this issue. Betrayal is an unfixable wound. The only thing you can do is face the legal repercussions. Zachary moved in, his voice lowering to a tone that carried an unmistakable edge. Listen, Larry, family dynamics are a two-way street. Have you thought about what it feels like to be alone in this expansive house? Incidents can occur among older adults. I took out my phone and began to record. Could you say that again, Zachary? My attorney will want to review any documented instances of intimidation attempts. His face turned a deep shade of crimson. I had no intention of being threatening. Your suggestion seems to indicate that my age puts me at risk for accidents unless I meet your financial expectations. This is a classic case of elder intimidation. Nicole seized Zachary's arm. Cease the conversation. You're only complicating things further. Is there anything more devastating than facing financial ruin at the hands of your own family? I fixed my gaze on Zachary. This conversation is being recorded by security cameras. There are individuals who can attest to your intimidating actions. All of your spoken words are being recorded for potential legal action." Kinsley began to cry. "Families shouldn't treat each other this way. Larry, you're jeopardizing relationships that have been nurtured over decades. I did not cause their destruction. I found out they had already been destroyed. You orchestrated my exclusion while gladly accepting my payment. The relationship was shattered. You believed I was just a handy cash machine, devoid of any emotions to take into account." Zachary strode purposefully toward the window. His fist tightened into a firm ball. "All right. Are you ready to take it to the next level? It takes two to tango. This is serious business. We are here to assist you with debt collection. Your outstanding balance stands at $85,000, in addition to accrued interest. The court will determine whether your payment will be made voluntarily or through the seizure of assets. We'll find out soon enough." With trembling hands, Nicole collected her photos. 1 month, 30 days following legal service. The countdown began yesterday. As they approached my front door, Zachary glanced back, his eyes glinting with a chilling precision. "Do you realize what your issue is, Larry? Believing that money equates to power is a common misconception. True power lies in the relationships you cultivate with those who genuinely care for you. You just discarded that." I observed them approach their truck, taking note of the way Zachary's hands shook as he turned the key in the ignition. They remained oblivious. I didn't dispose of anything. I had just ceased to support my own deception. The arrival of New Year's Day filled me with a deep sense of contentment I hadn't experienced in ages. The legal process was progressing precisely as intended, while I enjoyed a leisurely afternoon in my study, occasionally stealing a glance at the snow falling outside my window. At 2 o'clock, my phone buzzed to life. "Hey Larry, it's Margaret." There was an unmistakable tension in my cousin's voice. "I'd like to discuss an important matter with you. Since childhood, Margaret and I have kept a consistent connection, rooted in mutual respect and a shared family history. When she expressed concern, I took notice. Absolutely. What's on your mind? Today, I've had multiple phone calls regarding you, including ones from Nicole, Zachary, Howard, and Kinsley. Everyone seems to be echoing the same sentiments. And honestly, Larry, it doesn't resemble the person I've known for 4 decades. I put my book down and dedicated my full attention. What are they really trying to convey? It's been said that you've developed a sense of paranoia and suspicion since stepping away from your career." Nicole was in tears, expressing that you've betrayed your own family for the sake of money. Zachary firmly believes that you're not seeing things clearly and require some assistance. Even in my frustration, I couldn't help but admire the elegance of their strategy. What is your evaluation of these assertions? That's the reason for my call. 3 different family members reaching out to me in just 2 hours, all sharing almost the same points. That doesn't seem like a genuine family concern, Larry. That's seamless coordination. With a strong foundation in marketing, Margaret found herself instinctively wary of carefully crafted campaigns. They aim to portray you as mentally deteriorating, all the while casting themselves as the victims striving to assist their troubled patriarch. What exactly did they assert? Nicole mentioned that you've developed a fixation on finances and are imposing consequences on her desire for independence. Zachary indicated that you may be exhibiting signs of cognitive decline and are making questionable financial choices. Howard expressed that there are concerns regarding your judgment. Every misleading assertion struck with precision. They were trying to discredit me before I had the chance to threaten their reputation. Margaret, Do you know the precise sequence of events that brought us to this situation? I've only received their perspective, which is why I'm seeking your take on it. In just 15 minutes, I laid out the factual timeline, detailed the planned vacation, highlighted their Christmas morning abandonment, presented the note, and illustrated their coordinated exclusion, while still accepting my financial support. I focused solely on the documented facts, leaving emotion aside. That's a significant departure from their description. Margaret's voice resonated with fresh insight. It seemed as though they portrayed you as suddenly being unreasonable regarding typical family independence. They plotted to leave me behind on Christmas morning, despite my $17,000 investment in their vacation. After introducing legal repercussions for their recorded loans and financial commitments, they resorted to intimidation tactics, leading to a focus on managing their reputation. Larry, I have a direct question for you. Are you noticing any cognitive challenges or shifts in your judgment or decision-making abilities? I wasn't offended by the question. It was precisely the question a thoughtful relative ought to pose when faced with differing accounts. I've collaborated with my attorney, Michael Richardson, on these legal matters. David Cruz, my accountant, meticulously examined all financial documentation. Both professionals can vouch for my sharp mental acuity. The family is clearly trying to avoid the repercussions of their deliberate deception. That resonates with the Larry I'm familiar with. A man who has built and sold a successful construction company doesn't just become paranoid about typical family interactions. Margaret, your call means more to me than you can imagine. What is the total number of other relatives they have reached out to? It seems they are methodically navigating through the family directory. Your brother Robert, cousin Janet, and likely your neighbors as well. Their campaign scope surpassed my original evaluation. They were engaged in a thorough campaign to undermine my reputation, aiming to coerce me into withdrawing from legal proceedings. Would you be willing to assist me in documenting their misleading assertions? Certainly. Their actions amount to character assassination, but it won't succeed with those who truly understand you. Once the call ended, I fired up a fresh document on my laptop. If they aimed to engage in a battle for reputation, I would counter with the same strategic method I applied to their financial treachery. The family had swiftly transitioned from endangering my safety to assaulting my character. They were on the brink of discovering that this was a far greater blunder. The evening unfolded with the gratifying completion of documentation. I dedicated the day to crafting a structured response to their reputation campaign, outlining a timeline of events, gathering professional references, and securing character witnesses. Margaret shared comprehensive reports of their synchronized phone conversations. At 7:30, I found myself engrossed in a book in my living room when headlights suddenly illuminated my window. Zachary's truck roared into my driveway, tires letting out a slight squeal against the pavement. From my vantage point by the window, I observed him forcefully close the door and approach my house, his posture revealing a sense of urgency and desperation, as if he had exhausted all other possibilities. I engaged my security system using the subtle panel located next to my chair. With 6 cameras strategically positioned to monitor every angle of the house, you can rest easy, knowing that everything is automatically recorded to cloud storage. 3 decades in the construction industry have shown me just how crucial it is to keep a record of confrontations. The relentless banging on my front door felt less like a request and more like an ultimatum. Reveal yourself, Larry. It's time for a conversation. I swung the door open, yet stayed firmly in the threshold, asserting my presence in the space. Good evening, Zachary. Cut the polite chatter. He surged past me into the living room, his movements sharp and charged with barely contained rage. You really believe you can tear my family apart with your legal maneuvers? I believe I can successfully recover legitimate debts by utilizing the appropriate legal avenues. authorized pathways. His voice escalated to a near shout, declaring, "You're destroying our lives over mere hurt feelings. I am actively exercising my contractual rights regarding the documented loans." Zachary stepped in, leveraging his height and 40-year age difference to tower above me. Have you ever wondered what fate befalls those stubborn old men residing in sprawling houses like this one? I held his gaze unwaveringly. What's going on, Zachary? Incidents. Intrusions. When neighbors are unable to hear your cries for help, unfortunate events can unfold. His voice lowered to a tone that felt almost nonchalant. Your high-tech alarm system won't be of any use during a medical emergency, or if someone feels it's time for you to understand the importance of family loyalty. Are you trying to intimidate me? I'm clarifying the situation for someone who appears to be perplexed about their circumstances. He waved his hand around my living room. At 62 years old, you're navigating life independently, without the support of family. If you don't put an end to this legal nonsense, you may find yourself in a challenging situation. I nodded with contemplation, as though weighing his words carefully. What a fascinating viewpoint. Are you interested in checking something out? I strode confidently toward my home office, not pausing for a response. Zachary trailed behind, likely believing he had coerced me into submission. Living alone in a spacious home has its perks, I remarked, as I opened my office door. One of the biggest advantages is the ability to invest in top-notch security measures. The array of monitors displayed 6 distinct camera angles of my property, capturing flawless footage of Zachary's arrival and our entire dialogue. His complexion drained of color as he saw himself on the screen, issuing threats to an elderly man. That is, recording me without my consent is not allowed. This is my personal property. I have the ability to capture footage of anyone who walks in. I highlighted the timestamp that displayed his threats from just 3 minutes prior. All your files seamlessly upload to secure cloud storage. All security footage is sent to my lawyer, Michael Richardson. Zachary's eyes widened as he fixated on the screens, a sense of panic rising within him. This needs to be removed. My only responsibility is to present evidence to law enforcement when senior citizens face threats in their own residences. Remove it, Larry. I wasn't serious about what exactly. Facing a medical emergency? Concerned about break-ins? Imparting wisdom on the importance of family loyalty? I reached for my phone. In Michigan, threatening an elderly individual is a grave offense, particularly when there is documented proof. It's not possible to involve the police in a mere discussion. I can reach out to them regarding criminal intimidation and threats directed at a senior citizen. I called 911, which comes with increased penalties according to Michigan law. 911. How can we assist you today? Greetings. This is Larry Hughes, reaching out from 847 Maple Ridge Drive. I require immediate police intervention regarding criminal threats directed at me by a family member. At 62 years old, I find myself facing a troubling situation. The suspect remains in my home, issuing threats regarding accidents and break-ins. Zachary's expression shifted from fury to sheer panic. End the call. I'm heading out immediately. Excuse me, are you currently facing any immediate threats? The dispatcher inquired. The individual appears restless, yet I have captured their image on security footage. I've got video proof of the threats. Officers have been dispatched. Kindly hold the line, please. Within a swift 8 minutes, 2 patrol cars made their arrival. I supplied the officers with printed screenshots of Zachary's threats, accompanied by the audio recording. The heightened penalties in Michigan for offenses targeting elderly individuals have positioned this issue as a top priority. Detention. Mr. Thompson, You are hereby under arrest for criminal intimidation and for threatening an elderly individual, the lead officer declared, brandishing a pair of handcuffs. Zachary's hands trembled as the cuffs clicked into place. This is absolutely unbelievable. He is the father of my wife. That only exacerbates the situation, sir. Threatening behavior is unacceptable, regardless of family ties. As they guided him toward the patrol car, Zachary cast a glance back at me, his expression tinged with a sense of urgency. Larry, it seems you're a bit lost in your approach. This will not conclude as you expect. As the taillights faded into the distance along my street, I picked up the phone to call Michael Richardson and update him on our latest legal development. On a snowy Tuesday morning, the court documents arrived, hand-delivered by Michael Richardson, who wore the satisfied expression of someone who had just secured a flawless legal triumph. I laid them out on my dining room table, much like a strategist analyzing winning battle plans. The judgment is complete in your favor, Michael declared, placing his briefcase next to the documents. $85,000 has been successfully recovered from the apartment sale, with all credit obligations reverted to the primary borrowers. Criminal charges are advancing independently. The figures exceeded my expectations, not solely in terms of financial gain, though reclaiming every cent felt just, but also in the methodical way justice was achieved through the right legal processes. Zachary's job prospects are severely hindered by his criminal record, which includes a charge for threatening an elderly individual, rendering him nearly impossible to employ in any professional role. Today, background checks have become a standard practice among employers. I have thoroughly examined the property sale documents. Their apartment was snapped up by cash buyers in just a week. The real estate market remained indifferent to family disputes, focusing solely on market values and unambiguous titles. The vehicle repossession was successfully completed yesterday, Michael continued. The bank acted swiftly as soon as the guarantee removal was finalized. They've transitioned to using public transportation. From my connections within the community, I discovered that the family was squeezed into Howard and Kinsley's one-bedroom apartment, where 5 adults were living in a space meant for 2. Nicole was navigating the retail world for the first time since college, while Zachary struggled to secure a job. At noon, I observed them making their way up my driveway. Each of the 5 shifted in a distinct manner, shoulders slumped and eyes averted, embodying the unspoken weight of those who have come to understand the price of treachery. Nicole took the lead, her cheeks flushed from tears even before she arrived at my door. I welcomed them in, no formalities needed. "Dad," Nicole's voice trembled right away. "It's time for a conversation." They positioned themselves in my living room as if seeking an audience before a judge. Howard and Kinsley appeared worn out, their faces reflecting the toll of stress and cramped living situations that had aged them prematurely. Zachary avoided my gaze. "I'm all ears. We made a mistake." Nicole's words spilled out in a hurried, frantic manner, utterly misguided and completely off the mark. "The getaway, the way we left you behind, how we handled your kindness, every bit of it." Zachary compelled himself to meet my gaze. "I made some awful mistakes, Larry. The threats, the things I said. I acted out of fear and ignorance, causing you pain despite your unwavering support for us." Howard nervously cleared his throat. "Larry's son, we've reached a point where we can't support everyone anymore. Kinsley and I, we just can't. Our pension was never intended to accommodate 5 individuals." Kinsley added softly, "We're still family. Through it all, we remain a family." I examined their expressions, searching for hints of the familiar calculation I had encountered previously. Desperation had peeled back the layers of pretense. These individuals had grasped the distinction between authentic regret and calculated deceit. "Share the details of the planning," I requested. Nicole recoiled. "What kind of planning are we talking about?" "The holiday getaway intrigue." "How long was the conversation about my exclusion? Who was the first to propose it? When did you choose to plan on leaving me behind?" The question lingered in the atmosphere, heavy and charged. Nicole's gaze met Zachary's, who then turned to his parents, their eyes returning to Nicole in a silent exchange. "It was not." Nicole began, then hesitated. Zachary was the one to mention it first, perhaps 3 weeks ahead of Christmas. He mentioned that it could be more soothing without, in your absence. You were on board with that. "I did," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I said yes because I craved a getaway, where gratitude wasn't a constant requirement. A place where I could simply be without the weight of owing anyone anything." The truth cut deeper than any falsehood ever could. "Howard Kinsley, we value your involvement." Howard's hands trembled ever so slightly. "We recognized the mistake when we gave our consent, yet Zachary assured us that in time you would come to appreciate the value of solitude. So you planned to leave me alone on Christmas morning after I spent $17,000 on your vacation?" "Absolutely." Nicole's admission unfolded like a heartfelt confession. It was meticulously planned. We had a conversation about it. We were fully aware of our actions, yet we proceeded regardless. I leaned back in my chair, absorbing the full extent of their surrender. Take full responsibility, own your decisions, and don't downplay your actions. What is it that you seek from me at this moment? "Forgiveness," Nicole whispered. Zachary remarked, "An opportunity to set things straight." "Help," Howard stated plainly. I gazed at each one of them. My daughter possesses my business acumen, yet lacks my sense of integrity. My son-in-law had discovered the price of intimidating those who had stood by him. The elderly couple who opted for convenience instead of charm. Should I contemplate a future relationship, I mentioned deliberately it would necessitate certain conditions. Hope danced in their eyes like candle flames swaying in the breeze. Full transparency regarding your intentions and strategies. Enough with the behind-the-scenes coordination. Recognizing that when trust is shattered, it requires a commitment to consistent actions over time to restore it. They nodded with enthusiasm, filled with urgency. However, I emphasized, it's crucial for you to grasp the true cost of your betrayal, not only in monetary terms, but also on a personal level. I strolled to my office and came back with Nicole's phone in hand. The following afternoon showcased yet another performance, but this time it was notably more refined than their earlier efforts. I observed from my living room window as they made their way to my front door. Nicole held tightly to a bouquet of pristine white lilies, the very flowers I had brought to her mother's funeral 15 years prior. This time, they had been arranged with even greater care. Nicole's tears began to flow even before her knuckles met the door, perfectly orchestrated for the highest emotional effect. Zachary took his place just behind her, exuding a sense of practiced humility. His head bowed at the perfect angle. I stepped through the door to discover Nicole's meticulously organized breakdown was already underway. "Father." With a dramatic flair, she thrust the flowers into my hands, tears streaming down her face. "I care for you deeply, and I sincerely apologize for all that we've put you through." The others entered in a synchronized manner, reminiscent of a meticulously planned funeral procession. Zachary's apology arrived right on time. "Larry, I've been reflecting on our conversation every night, on the words I used and the threats I made. I gained valuable insight into the importance of honoring the man who provided us with everything. I get it now. Howard and Kinsley created an ideal elderly setting, their authentic concern intertwined with a polished encouragement for their children's performance. All we desire is to have our family together again, Kinsley whispered. Life is too brief to be consumed by anger and division. Nicole sank onto my sofa, exuding a carefully crafted sense of vulnerability. I understand the pain we've caused you, but I assure you, I will become the daughter you truly deserve. I will ensure everything is set straight. While she spoke, I observed her phone strategically placed against the cushion, its screen directed toward our discussion. The tiny red recording dot was hardly noticeable, yet it was present. Share more about how to set things straight, I remarked, easing into my chair with calculated space. Nicole continued, her voice infused with a practiced sincerity. I now realize that it was wrong to take your generosity for granted. I recognize the immense sacrifices you've made for us and all that you've given. I am determined to win your love back. Zachary stole a glance at his watch, an almost instinctive movement that belied his assertions about this being the pivotal moment of his existence. I'm prepared to demonstrate my gratitude each and every day, he remarked, glancing at the clock once more as he spoke of everlasting appreciation. The gap between what they said and how they acted presented an intriguing exploration of deceit. Nicole's tears seemed authentic, yet her careful phone placement hinted at a deeper strategy. Zachary's apologies felt rehearsed, punctuated by frequent glances at the clock that hinted at a pressing engagement elsewhere. I inquired, Howard, Kinsley, what are your thoughts on restoring family trust? We believe in forgiveness, Howard replied thoughtfully. Everyone stumbles, but families can discover paths to progress together. Even when those mistakes stemmed from systematic planning and coordination, the question lingered in the air, heavy with implication. Nicole shifted her phone slightly, a minor change that would catch the eye of anyone attuned to signs of trickery. We all wish we had planned better, Zachary remarked, checking his watch once more. Excluding you was a mistake in our coordination. We recognize that now. Are you? I fixed my gaze on Nicole. What is your understanding of coordination and planning? Her meticulously crafted demeanor wavered for the briefest instant. I recognize that our collective choices have caused you personal pain, and I acknowledge that this was both selfish and unkind. The response felt overly refined, almost as if it had been crafted by someone well-versed in family reconciliation strategies found through extensive online research. Nicole, it looks like something on your phone has caught your attention. She became tense. Is that my phone? No, my full attention is on you, Dad, on our relationship, and on making things right. Yet her gaze flickered to the device without her intention, validating my previous observation. She was capturing our conversation, likely intending to use chosen snippets for social media, to evoke sympathy or for legal purposes. Zachary, you seem to be glancing at your watch quite often. Are you needed elsewhere? His face turned crimson. This is my top priority at the moment. I was simply a habit born from nerves, deceptions piled upon deceptions, revealing more with each passing moment. 4 decades of navigating business negotiations have honed my ability to discern the genuine priorities that lie beneath people's expressed intentions. These individuals were going through the motions of repentance rather than truly experiencing it. Thank you all for being here, I said, rising to indicate that our discussion was coming to a close. This experience has been incredibly enlightening. Nicole's panic surged, unmistakable and evident. Informative. Dad, could you clarify what you mean? We are reaching out to express our sincere apologies, to set things straight. You seem to be attempting to influence me with a show while covertly capturing our discussion for your own agenda. The accusation struck with the force of a physical blow. Nicole's hand instinctively reached for her phone, validating my observation. I was not. I absolutely would not. From the instant you took your seat, your phone was strategically placed to capture every word of this conversation. Zachary glanced at his watch 6 times while delivering his heartfelt speech about the significance of this moment in his life. Your apologies come across as scripted, because they indeed are scripted. Zachary's anger surged defensively at once. You seem to be overreacting. We arrived here with sincerity. You've returned with yet another tactic, likely because the previous one didn't succeed. All was hushed in the room, save for the soft sobs of Kinsley. I had anticipated, I went on, that experiencing total loss could enlighten you on the distinction between true remorse and calculated acting. It seems that it hasn't. In a final, heartfelt attempt, Nicole reached out once more. We really need you, Dad. All that remains is emptiness. Your actions have led you to exactly what you selected when you chose to betray my trust while feigning its importance. I approached the front door and opened it with intention. Before you go, I said, settling back into my chair, there's one final point you must grasp about what you've lost. I grabbed her phone from my office and accessed it using her birthday as the passcode. 3 weeks slipped by as if they were the meticulous flipping of legal papers, systematic, conclusive, permanent. I dedicated those days to finishing what they had begun with their treachery, the deliberate cutting of every bond that ties us together. On a brisk February morning, Michael Richardson presented the final paperwork. With a decisive gesture, he placed the thick folder down and declared, "Property transfers complete. Deposited, $85,000 recovered. All credit guarantees have been revoked and processed successfully. From a legal standpoint, you are not financially obligated to any of them. Your estate planning will be updated according to your instructions. The primary beneficiaries are now Margaret and the Detroit Children's Hospital. Family members explicitly excluded with documented justifications. The sense of legal completeness brought a satisfaction that emotional victories simply couldn't match. Each document symbolized a decision they had taken and the outcome they had reaped. Margaret's updates revealed that they had moved to a quaint town near Cleveland, where Howard's brother managed a trailer park. 5 adults living together in a spacious, single-wide mobile home. Nicole juggling 2 retail positions. Zachary's criminal history is hindering his ability to secure consistent employment. Consequences arise naturally from the choices we make. The letter was delivered on February 1st. Nicole's handwriting, once meticulous, now trembled with urgency. The envelope had a delicate thickness, affordable stationery, return address not provided. I sat at my kitchen table, sipping coffee that I had chosen solely for myself, and opened it up. Dad, I understand you might not want to hear from us, but I feel it's important to reach out. We've moved into Uncle Bob's trailer park. Zachary, Howard, Kinsley, Bob's family and I are all living together in one mobile home. The children rest on air mattresses in the living room. I'm currently employed at a grocery store and a gas station to assist with my grocery expenses. Zachary struggles to secure anything stable due to his past record. Howard's blood pressure medication is beyond our budget, and Kinsley's arthritis is worsening due to the stress. I'm simply seeking a modest amount to secure a small apartment, allowing the older generation to maintain their dignity. How about considering a budget of $500 each month? I realize I made mistakes, but at the end of the day, we're family. We understand now, Dad. We've truly learned our lesson. With all my heart, Nicole. I went through it twice, searching for the signs of manipulation I had grown accustomed to, but desperation had peeled back the layers of calculated persuasion, revealing only authentic need and the same basic misunderstanding that had ignited it all. She continued to view this as a matter of punishment instead of consequences, maintained that family obligations outweighed personal responsibility, and presumed my resources were available to address the issues stemming from her decisions. I neatly folded the letter and placed it alongside the other legal documents for safekeeping. A response was not required. After years of backing those who took it for granted, a moment of silence seemed fitting. Later that afternoon, I reached out to Margaret. "How are you embracing your newfound freedom?" she inquired. Exceeded my expectations. "Next week, I'm organizing dinner at that Italian restaurant downtown. Care to join me? I would be delighted to." It's high time you enjoyed socializing without the weight of family drama hanging over you. Way too lengthy. Once the call ended, I proceeded to make additional calls. David, my former business partner, reached out to talk about potential investment opportunities. Robert, my neighbor, brought up a community theater group. I had overlooked hiking clubs, book discussions, travel groups, entire realms I had neglected while investing in the aspirations of others. The contact number for the senior singles group rested on my desk. At 62, the experience of dating was both daunting and exhilarating. However, encountering someone who prioritized meaningful dialogue over material wealth and genuine companionship over monetary assistance felt like an opportunity worth pursuing. As I strolled through my home that evening, I began to perceive the spaces in a whole new light. The dining room, where they conspired to leave me out, could easily accommodate dinner parties for those who truly appreciated my presence. The guest bedrooms are ready to embrace visitors seeking connections over commodities. Justice didn't need grand showdowns or intricate plots for revenge. It merely necessitated halting the distribution of unmerited advantages to those who had mistaken kindness for duty. I learned an invaluable lesson about the distinction between family by blood and family by choice. Certain individuals have demonstrated their reliability and deserving nature of trust and support through their deeds. Others demonstrated their unworthiness through their actions. Next month's calendar is brimming with exciting opportunities. Experience the magic of the theater with Margaret by your side. Engaging investment discussions with David. Explore breathtaking hiking trails with our outdoor club. Engaging in activities that reflect my personal interests instead of conforming to others' expectations. The atmosphere in the house seemed to brighten, as if shedding toxic relationships had enhanced the very air we breathed. After years of putting others first, I finally found the courage to envision a future shaped by my own dreams and aspirations. At 62, I embraced the opportunity to explore what authentic relationships truly entail, grounded in mutual respect rather than financial reliance. The journey was only starting. If you enjoyed this story, we'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts about the story in the comments below. Click the box on the left to dive into the next story. We appreciate your viewership. That's it for today's story. If you found it moving, don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.